For the first time in weeks, England walk onto the rugby field with something they haven't had in a long time: freedom. 4 straight defeats would normally crush a team's confidence, but strangely, those losses may have removed the biggest burden of all: expectation. Nobody believes they can beat South Africa at the intimidating Ellis Park. Nobody is predicting an upset. And that is exactly why this test match suddenly becomes so dangerous. When a team has nothing left to lose, it often discovers a version of itself that nobody saw coming. Standing in their way are the reigning world champions, a side built to intimidate before the first whistle even blows. South Africa are not simply another international team. They are a machine that has spent years perfecting the art of winning test matches through relentless physicality, ruthless discipline, and unmatched belief. Every collision hurts. Every tackle feels personal. Every scrum is a battle. Every mistake is punished. This is the environment where champions prove why they wear the crown, and where challengers either rise or disappear. Yet beneath all the confidence surrounding the Springboks lies one small question that refuses to go away. This is the beginning of a new campaign. Several stars are returning after months away from Test rugby. Timing, rhythm, and combinations cannot simply be switched on overnight. Even the world's best teams need time to rediscover their sharpness. That tiny window of uncertainty is exactly what England must attack before it closes. England arrive with memories that are impossible to ignore. Their thrilling shootout against France showed something completely different from the cautious side fans had grown frustrated watching. Suddenly, there was pace. There was ambition. There was confidence. The ball moved quickly, players backed themselves, and for long periods England looked capable of matching one of rugby's most dangerous attacks. Critics were quick to point out that France's defense was far from its best, but confidence does not care where it comes from. Momentum is momentum, and England desperately needed to remember what fearless rugby looked like. Now they face the complete opposite challenge. Unlike France, South Africa do not hand out opportunities. They squeeze them out of you. Their defensive line hunts together, closes space instantly, and forces opponents into making mistakes they never intended to make. There are no easy tries against the Springboks. Every meter feels borrowed. Every point must be earned through patience, precision, and extraordinary courage. Then there is the terrifying reality waiting in the forwards. Imagine looking across the scrum and seeing Siya Kolisi, Pieter-Steph du Toit, Jasper Wiese, Eben Etzebeth, Malcolm Marx, Ox Ench, and Thomas du Toit preparing for 80 minutes of controlled violence. This is not simply size. It is years of chemistry, trust, and experience forged in World Cups, rugby championships, and the biggest test matches imaginable. They know exactly how to squeeze opponents until mistakes become inevitable. Among them all, one player may quietly decide the entire contest before the crowd even realizes it. Ox Ench has earned a reputation as one of the most destructive scrummaging props in world rugby. His technique is so refined that even elite international tight heads struggle to stop him. If South Africa dominate the scrum, they control territory. If they control territory, they control pressure. And when the Springboks control pressure, they usually control the scoreboard. England understand this better than anyone. Their mission is not necessarily to overpower South Africa. It is simply to survive long enough to keep the match alive. But England also possess weapons of their own. The excitement surrounding Henry Pollock continues to grow with every performance. Young, fearless, and full of relentless energy, he represents the next generation of English rugby. Alongside the explosive Ben Earl, England suddenly have players capable of matching South Africa's intensity rather than simply absorbing it. Add the intelligent game management of Finn Smith, whose calm decision-making continues to impress, and England have the foundation of a side that refuses to panic under pressure. Still, tactics alone will not win this test. The battle will be fought inside the minds of the players long before it is settled on the scoreboard. South Africa carry the pressure of expectation. They are supposed to win. Their supporters expect dominance. Anything less raises questions. England, meanwhile, step onto the field carrying no such burden. Every minute they stay in the contest increases belief. Every successful scrum adds confidence. Every defensive stand chips away at South Africa's certainty. The altitude of Johannesburg only adds another layer to this incredible contest. Players who normally seem unstoppable suddenly struggle to recover between phases. Legs grow heavier. Breathing becomes harder. Simple decisions become complicated. South Africa know exactly how to exploit those conditions because they have done it countless times before. They are masters of patience, often waiting until the final quarter before unleashing fresh forwards from the bench to overwhelm exhausted opponents. England know they cannot simply survive early pressure. They must build a lead, control territory, and stay mentally strong when the inevitable storm arrives in the closing stages. One player attracting enormous attention is Manye Libbok. Few fly-halves in World Rugby can create attacking magic quite like him. When the game opens up, he becomes almost impossible to stop. His passing stretches defenses, his vision creates opportunities from nowhere, and his confidence lifts everyone around him. Yet Test rugby has often demanded another side of his game, the ability to control tense moments when every decision carries enormous consequences. England will target him relentlessly, hoping to force rush choices before South Africa settle into their rhythm. Everything points toward a brutal contest where patience matters more than spectacular moments. England cannot afford reckless rugby. Every kick must have purpose. Every chase must apply pressure. Every tackle must stop momentum. Every breakdown must be contested intelligently. This is the kind of test match where small victories slowly become big ones. Perhaps that is why this fixture feels so unpredictable despite everything favoring the Springboks. Rugby history is filled with famous upsets that began exactly like this. One team arrived carrying confidence. The other arrived carrying doubt. Yet somewhere during 80 unforgettable minutes, belief changed sides. South Africa remain deserved favorites. Their squad is deeper. Their forwards are heavier. Their combinations are more experienced. Their winning mentality has already survived the biggest stages in World Rugby. But none of those advantages guarantee victory once the whistle blows. England know exactly what the world expects. Most people believe they will leave Ellis Park with another defeat. But sometimes the most dangerous team in sport is not the strongest one. It is the team with absolutely nothing left to fear. If England can withstand the opening assault, hold firm at the scrum, frustrate South Africa's attack, and keep the contest alive until the final quarter, something extraordinary may begin to happen. Doubt could creep into the champions. Confidence could grow inside the challengers. And suddenly, one of rugby's biggest shocks would no longer feel impossible. That is what makes this test match impossible to ignore. It is not just England versus South Africa. It is pressure versus freedom, power versus belief, expectation versus opportunity. By the time the final whistle echoes around Ellis Park, we will discover whether the Springboks reminded the world why they are champions, or whether England transformed 4 painful defeats into the greatest victory nobody saw coming.